friends, welcome to another episode of Killingly Public Library's craft videos. Today I thought we would repurpose some cans, and I started by painting them white. If you want to paint your cans another color because maybe you don't have white at home, then that's perfectly fine, but I just went with white to just kind of give it a clean, crisp look. And I grabbed a few things to decorate with, and I thought the white would work well with the things that I chose based off of what I had in my office. So let's start. And I did paint two coats on. One coat you might like the way it looks, and whatever color you might choose, it might be fine. But I felt like the white, it needed an additional coat. So I did do two coats of white paint. I did not paint the inside. However, if you wanted to paint the inside, that would look lovely as well. I just didn't take the time and bother with it. And then I did grab some different ribbons that I had, and I thought I would glue them on. I started with this one. I'm not really sure that it's a ribbon, but it was kind of interesting, and I thought it would look really neat, maybe around the top of my can, like so. So let me run some glue on here and glue it on. There, so I've glued the ribbon on. I'm just going to take my scissors and snip it. And I did try to leave a little bit of the white showing just because that's what I wanted. There's a few spots where I didn't maybe do as good as I could have, but I kind of like it. Maybe you want to run another band of ribbon around the bottom, or maybe you just like it at the top. After raiding the ribbon drawer, I decided I was going to use a book page, and I went with a heart because a heart is really easy, but you could make anything you wanted, and maybe you like flowers or stars or whatever speaks to you. Maybe even just cut out some of the words and make some type of saying, or just one particular word. If you could find something like, say, family or peace or joy, any love, any kind of nice sentiment, just put it on the can. And in that case, you might want to choose a book with maybe a little bit larger print. The one I chose is kind of small, but I went with a heart, so I'm going to show you what I did. I just folded my paper ever so slightly in half. I didn't crease it to give it a fold, but I just kind of held it in place a little, and I started at the bottom and came up at an angle and looped it around just like we do the heart, and brought it down in and opened it up, and I had a heart. And then what I did was I took the inside of my heart here and I traced it onto some brown craft paper. Craft paper is a little bit more sturdier than just printer paper. It's kind of like a cardstock. And I just traced the inside of my heart in the on the brown. If you don't have brown craft paper, you certainly could use another piece of paper. If you didn't paint your can white, then maybe the book page would look fine just as it is. I wanted something behind it a little bit because I did think that it didn't really look as nice on the white as it could have. And then, so I traced the heart from this template, and then I took my already cut heart, I folded it back in half again, and took off maybe 1/8 of an inch or so all around the edge, just by eye. I just went like so that it made it a little bit smaller, so that when I glued it onto the brown craft paper, it gave it a little border. And then I took my ruler. If you have a bone folder, that would work. You could use a butter knife. You could use the back of your scissors. But I took the ruler and I kind of scraped across the back of the craft paper. It kind of rounded it a bit for the can, but it also kind of breaks the fibers a little bit so that it would just be maybe a little more conducive for bending and gluing. And now I'm just going to glue it onto my can. And there you have it. So that was one idea that I went with today, just to give you some options of different things maybe that you could grab out of your recycling bin. And even like I said, this was just leftover ribbon or something that someone had donated to the library, and I'm thankful for that, of course, and I'm using it in this craft. Now, the second can, and you do not have to do 2 cans, of course. I just wanted to show some different options. So for this can, I wanted to go kind of, I was leaning kind of patriotic, I guess, when I found this ribbon also. This is another donation from some wonderful person, and I do appreciate it. I love when I get some treasures like that. So I'm just going to put the ribbon again at the top. You do whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to put your ribbon in the middle. Oh, actually, let's do that. Let's put our ribbon in the middle this time, shall we? Okay. And when I get to the end, I'm just going to cut my ribbon at a diagonal a little bit. And this will be the back of the can, so nobody will probably even notice. But if you're not familiar with cutting ribbon diagonally, a little slanted, it just helps with the unraveling a little bit. And then I'm just going to put some glue there where they meet and glue it down. So there, we did this one in the middle, mixing it up a bit. Okay. Then my next thought was I wanted to use up some denim scraps that I had. So I took some denim and I cut some stars out of it. Since the ribbon was kind of patriotic, like I thought some stars would be nice. So I did this one. So all I did was use the back side of the denim and I traced some stars from some patterns that I created. And this one is a little bit larger and this one is a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to cut them out and then I'll show you the next step. Alrighty, I have my 2 stars cut out and now I'm just going to take the glue stick, not the hot glue because I think that'll make it too bumpy and lumpy, but I glued the 2 pieces together with the glue stick, hoping that it would keep it from fraying and unraveling as the denim would do since it's been cut, and it worked great for me. I mean, I'm not playing with the stars, you know, but I made these a couple of days ago and I've handled them and they're holding together well. So I just totally covered the bottom star with the glue and then I placed the other star on top. Now I'm also going to tie some twine around the can, and I'm going to glue with hot glue the stars, you know, at the tip of at the end of the twine. If I had thought of it when I was making the stars, I might have considered putting a piece of twine in between the 2 layers, but I did not do that at the time when I was making it. It was just to see if it would hold together and stop the fraying, which it did. So that would be totally up to you if you wanted to put the twine inside. It's a little thick. It might make it a little lumpy like, so that's also something to consider. But we're gonna glue these 2 stars together. And I was not shy with this glue. I really gobbed it on there and coated the entire star with glue. Not sure if you can see that, but it's coated really well. Okay, so I've glued both pieces of denim together, and it'll stiffen up like this one did a little bit. I mean, you certainly could sew your stars together or whatever, you know, maybe you want to make hearts, or, you know, maybe you don't even have any leftover denim and you're going to go with the book page version. But denim can be a tricky one to stitch, so I thought I would glue them together, and I do like the way it came out. So this craft virtually cost pennies because it was all stuff that was just laying around. I mean, obviously somebody bought the ribbon, but even if you had gone out and bought in the ribbon yourself, it would still be pennies, because how much are you really putting around the can to dress it up? So you can certainly use a few things from your craft closet. So I'm just going to tie the twine onto my can and add my stars, and we'll see how that looks. I'm just going to dab a little glue on the back to kind of hold the twine in place while I work it around to the front. And I dabbed right where my seam was. And if you need to dab more glue as you go, that's certainly fine. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot to hold it in place. So there, it's in place. And I'm going to trim my ends. Let's see. Kind of figure out where you'd like your stars to hang and trim the ends accordingly. So I guess something like this will work for me. And I'm just going to use, I chose to leave my twine as just knotted, but maybe you want to tie a bow, maybe you want to use a thin ribbon or baker's twine. That would be nice if you had different ribbon. Mine is more of a maroon look, but if yours had more of a red look, that red and white baker's twine, oh, wouldn't that be nice? So let's just dab a little glue on here and stick it on the twine. There, so I've glued the stars onto the back of the twine, and I ended up cutting the twine with the little stars on a little shorter than the larger star, just so that they hung a little differently. But I thought that would be kind of neat. So there you have it. We have two different cans with just basically scraps that we had around the house. And yeah, so let's see what you can come up with. Please send your photos of your finished crafts to info@killinglypl.org. I would love to see them. Until our next crafting video, have a great day, and thanks so much for stopping in.